Welcome everyone to It's Mama Benedict. Great to have you here with us, and it's us today. I'd like to introduce you to my husband. This is Ernest, and he is my beloved, and I am his. But anyway, some of you might know him as EBM, Ernest Boniface Macolilo. He has his own channel. I know, I was gonna say that. He has 2 channels, but you know what? He got ahead of me. The other day I was able to say, oh, by the way, you have another channel in one of the videos, so there you go. He has it's his scholarship, what is it called?
EBM Scholars.
EBM Scholars, but he talks about so many things. For those of you that are American and you're here because of me, I totally recommend you check out my husband's channel because he talks about a lot of stuff. I mean, there's so many topics and so many different things. You wouldn't believe it. I mean, the things that he talks, it's just fantastic. It's not just African stuff, or not just immigration things. There's other things. And his second channel is Swahili. So anybody that either wants to learn Swahili by listening to somebody, or wants to listen to somebody talk in Swahili, and so I'm going to ask him if he'll just include his, post his links in the comments. Anyway, so I made a video about how our anniversary is tomorrow, May 1st, and we were married on May 1st, 2010. And so I'm gonna do my first interview with my husband here.
Special guest.
Yep, he's my special guest. Okay. And so anyway, what you see is what you get, don't forget. So if you have questions, comments, or suggestions, please put them down in the comments. Again, welcome, welcome, welcome. I almost sound like you. I just realized that. He does that. Except I don't yell at the camera. He yells at the camera. I swear it's the oddest thing. Anyway,
African,
I know. So, okay, so tomorrow is our anniversary. What do you think about us being married for 11 years?
Number one, it doesn't look like it's 11 years. The reason I said it doesn't look that way, because we have been our life has been like a struggle,
yes,
moving from one place to another place, settling here. Okay, we have 2 years plan, we are going to do this. So it looks like it's not a lot of years before, because for me, yes, we got married for 11 years, but now we want the time when we are settled. Okay, I don't know when that time we'll see. Is it years? I don't know. Yeah, so, but overall, I'm so much thankful. I'm very much happy. And even today, someone made a comment on one of the video that it looks like your wife is supporting you more also on me doing the videos and other kind of things.
Well, I'm so proud of you.
I say, without that, this channel could not be that way, because that is the first thing we talked when we met. But at that time I didn't have a YouTube, I was more as a blogger.
Right.
So you were asking, why do you do this? Why is it for free? What do you gain? All of those kind of things. But those were the basis. Even when you are making these videos, when I'm writing books, there is that kind of support. So
oh yeah, he writes books too. So you can look on Amazon, and you can even do Kindle, or I'm going to do a plug here. I mean, of course, why not? He has books, and so if you think you might be interested, just look up. And you'll see his name in the comments anyway when he does the links. But anyway, I mean, it's the same as my last name. I mean, how many Macolilos can there be in the world? I mean, honestly, it's not like Smith. So Makulilo, and I'm sure if you just put that in Amazon, it'll pull his books up, like I said. So anyway,
so
go ahead.
Yeah. So 11 years. It doesn't look that it's a lot, because we have been moving, we have been looking for more opportunities, we have been looking for all these kind of things. Yes, there is ups and downs, but overall, it has been a very good, our family, raising up our little family, it has been that very good experience so far.
When we got married, May 10th, 2010.
May 1st, 2010.
Yeah, May 1st, 2010. What did I say?
May 10th.
Did I do it? Oh, thank you. May 1st. I'm tired. Anyway, May 1st, 2010. When we got married, did you reflect around that time what it might be like in 5-10 years? Because I know that you're a very reflective person, and you have a lot of goals, and you write these things down. So yes, it's very, it's something that I really admire about you. And so, but did you, or, I mean, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but.
For me, on May 1st, that was one of the goals, because that's, let me go back. Like while I was growing up in Africa, you have to grow so fast because you don't have a lot of second chances. Like, yo, I'm going to college, I can drop out, I can do this, whatever.
We are really spoiled
if you,
here.
there is fail and pass. If you fail, for instance, at college, you get out, there's no transfer for credit. You failed. Even if you are one semester left, you go to start first year. So there is no that glamorous life.
So I'm talking, this is what he's saying. He's saying, okay, most people only go to university for 3 years for their bachelor degree. And they have a ton of classes and they do them really, like it's just really, I don't know if anybody here, I mean, there's just no college life, okay, basically. So it's just a different way of doing college. But my point is that say that you have 2 years of college and then, for whatever reason you don't go. You have to start all over.
Yeah.
No transfer of credits. That's it. It's crazy. And and the same with even like
and even choose the major.
Like even high school though. Tell them about high school.
When you are in junior high, for instance, you make a decision. You are going to arts or social science or pure science. That means if, for instance, for me, I did social science, history, geography, and English language, a combination called HGL, that means I will never in my life in Tanzania to become a medical professional. I will never in my life become economist. I will never in my life become, so that if you choose the course you are going to do in high school.
You're allowed to choose it, or is it based on your test scores?
Obviously the results, but whatever, obviously, yeah. So if you choose, for instance, I'm giving you an example, PCM, physics, chemistry, mathematics, even if it is science, you'll never become a doctor. You can become a pharmacist. So, and that decision you will make, that decision was still maybe 18, 19. So you have to grow fast to know those kind of things. So we
even
don't have
now, are they that age, 18, 19 or are they, because they start in kindergarten now?
Nowadays a little bit they are younger compared to our time.
But still, people in Africa have to grow up fast.
You still have to grow fast because there are not much of these kind of second chances.
Right.
So for me, I had clear goals growing up. So even like, okay, I'm giving example, finish primary school, going to secondary school, junior high, you go to high school, going to college. After college, for me, was find a way to come to America. After being in America, get a good education, have started a family, become a US citizen, all those kind of things. So yes, when I was get married, it was, okay, now what will be the next thing? So even the goal of doing PhD has to change because now priority has changed. Yes, I want to do PhD, but with the family, I had to redefine the goals. That is the PhD very, very important to our family versus like, so I had to create new goals to shift some of the goals which will include you and the kids will be able to get. So that was the number one, the departure of certain goals. So the number one goal for us at that time was the family was, okay, we have to find our own, first of all, you have to get a good job. You have to find a way you can be able to raise the family. But since from day one, we wanted also what will be our life will be. So when you get married, we start looking, how can we move away from California?
It's so expensive. It's just so expensive.
We got married in May 2010, but we finally managed to move from California after getting a good job to come to Midwest in 2016. And in between, there are ups and downs, but we are so much thankful of all those kind of, yes, the decision, you can have this one, you can have this plan, can change, but obviously the family was able to change certain the goals to reflect the family in that particular way.
So I'm going to put you on the spot and I'm going to ask you one question because I don't remember. My mom would know, but you know how every year of your anniversary they have a name for it? So what is it this year? Is it wood, silver?
No, I don't. I have to go about it. I don't do the Google search.
He's so good about.
I don't remember. I used to remember from whatever first to 10. I used to remember most of them, but from 11, I don't know what is that.
This was an older custom. Like they
the pepper anniversary, wood anniversary,
yeah, exactly.
diamond, whatever.
Diamond,
yeah, they have those.
So
names,
okay, but can I expect a letter?
I don't know. You can explain.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know, my husband is a prolific writer, and he figured this out actually by just writing letters to people. He would rather write a letter to somebody and just tell them how wonderful they are, truly, and talk about them and for their birthday or whatever it is. Then give them a gift. I mean, he's fine with giving gifts, but he never just wants to give you a card. He's just not that way. So he'd rather do that. And my friends, I mean, I'm sure you've seen some of the like posts of his letters for the kids, for our children, or for me. And I actually wrote a letter for him last year, and I posted it on Facebook. So I always like to get the letters, but it's really special. You know, I think that that's one of your love languages is words, and I think that's really beautiful. And I wish that I had more words, not just the talking, but that I had more words where I could, you know. But I thought I was really, I know that sounds really, I don't know, maybe it sounds arrogant, I don't know, but I was really impressed with myself that I was able to write him a letter last year for our anniversary. And so, anyway, so whether I get I would love to have a letter, but that's, you know.
Obviously,
So,
I'll make it dinner or something like barbecue. Obviously, that is guarantee. Yeah.
okay, so what was it like for you to get married in the United States? Okay, so this is like a couple parts question. So, what was it like for you to get married to an American? Okay, like an American and me, because you know I'm a
You are Caucasian.
not only the white girl. Okay, so that's one thing. I always
You forget you are white.
and I forget he's black. I know you people don't believe that, but he's just
like the other day we were in the office, we were in San Diego, and you were talking after coming from that office. You were calling your mother and you were talking. They said, "Oh, there are this kind of like they're asking that these is Spanish people." So they ask you, "There are no any other? We're just only Caucasian." Your mother reminded.
I said we were all white.
Yeah, I said, but your husband is not white.
I know that sounds too be good to be true, but I'm actually kind of naive. You know, like I just don't. Yes, I see that he's black. I'm not blind, and I know that I'm white, but it's just for me. It just doesn't enter in. If anything, I hear his accent more than anything else. You know, but he's my husband, and so that's different. But you know, and we have so many African friends. It really doesn't enter in. Yes, of course we have our own biases, but what I meant to, and you brought it up, but okay, marrying an American, marrying a white American, but also marrying me, because I'm a special type of person. Oh, there's so many people that know that. Okay, and also getting married in America. So that's like kind of different parts, but you're pretty good about keeping on topic and not going on tangents like I do. So
yeah,
I'll let you have the floor.
So first of all, for me, it was not just by accident, because it's different from person to person. I'm talking like from Africa. Number one, since I was in the 5th, 6th grade, my goal in 1994, 1995 is to make sure that I go to live in America.
Can you tell people that don't know how old you were in 5th and 6th grade? Because at the time that he's talking, things were a little different. No, but
14, 15 years old.
So when I was in 5th and 6th grade, I was 10 and 11 years old. So just so that we understand, I mean, that for the Americans that might not understand, that's what I'm saying. Okay.
So for me, I mean, number one, there are some of the reasons which that's why in my book, the first chapter of my life is called The Decision Here, 1994, 1995, why I made the decision, maybe I will come to America. There was a war in Burundi, and it made me want to study about human rights, conflict resolution, all those kind of things. But among other things, there was a doctor, and I still remember the name, Dr. Dangwa. That name will never get out of my head. Came from Asian country and married one of the lady from Asia. I don't know, is Filipino or whatever, but we didn't know the difference. Like in our categories, there is Caucasian, there is this. So we call him Mzungu, is a white person. Mm-hmm. So it was like we were kids, so he was inspirational. He's a doctor, very educated, married a foreigner. So that inspired many kids. We are saying we will marry a foreigner. But one time they got divorced. So if you say you are planning to get married to like Dr. Dango, they got divorced. So I'll live in that country, because the problem is you bring, in that time there was no much technology like washing machine or this kind of good internet. So if you bring someone from foreign country, it's a very tough life. Back in the 1990s, Tanzania was coming out from socialism. Mm-hmm. So it was a tough life, in my opinion. Yes, it can be glamorous at the beginning, like honeymoon, but in the real life, it was tough for foreigner.
Right.
So for me, that's why my mindset, I'll go there and I'll marry Caucasian, I will stay there.
May I interrupt just real quick? So you had an idea that you would marry, and please don't be offended by this, but your idea was, I'm going to marry a white woman.
Yes.
Okay, and so in a developed country where there are white people.
Yes.
I'm just trying to
Yes.
like say it plain.
And, yes.
But here's the thing: what was it that Tanzanian women, they just weren't interesting enough, or was it this appeal of marrying a foreigner, kind of like Americans? They think, ooh, accents, ooh, this, and they want to.
No,
I mean,
because for me that decision came. I was still young, so I didn't know a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. Like if now I have to make that decision, I could look all those other factors. But for me, it wasn't.
It really wasn't a woman per se.
It was not like, okay, maybe this is a superior race or this one is just cool. We didn't have all those kind of things. When I make this cherished dream, but
Right.
that's number one. But another thing, yes, where we're going to get to white people, you have to go to their countries.
Right, I understand that.
So,
right.
but other people, it's different. Why for me, and for me, I wanted to marry a white person who has never, who lived, and you have to meet that person in their country. I don't want to have a tourist or an international student, exchange student, come to Tanzania and meet that person and you get married. Because if I go to that country, let's say things don't work out, I will feel so much like, okay, I brought you from Africa. For me, I wanted, okay, we met in San Diego, we met in America. So if for whatever reason things don't work out, no, don't say you brought me from Africa. I came with my scholarship, I came with my brain. And for me, I knew the only way, there are so many ways, the only way to get from Africa to America was my brain. I need to study hard, get to good scores, find scholarships.
Okay.
So that was for me. So for me was that like, okay, that I have to go there. But even so, that affected my dating lifestyle when I was growing up, because it's not like there are not beautiful women in Africa. It was not that way.
Oh my gosh, there's so many beautiful women out
But
there.
it was for me number one, even up to now. But at that particular time, there are factors you needed to have to attract beautiful women.
I know, and
you need to have money, and you need to be handsome. Obvious. I don't know whether I'm handsome, but let's
Be still
for
my
her, she would
heart.
say that way. But obvious. So for me, I didn't have money, so I had brain. So any woman who likes me, I believe you don't like me because I'm handsome or I have money. You like me because of my brain, and I didn't want my brain to be used to be
you are
manipulated.
so smart. Oh my goodness.
So that was the number one reason.
Okay.
But the second reason was not just that way. I didn't want to have girlfriend or whatever, to have that kind of relationship, because I knew it is the biggest distraction. Because I saw, even especially when you're about to go to the university, I saw some other people, they decided not to pursue scholarship, or they got a scholarship to come to America or another country. So, but I have a girlfriend, so I didn't want to have any emotional attachment. So that means when I'm coming to America, I had my bag to America. I don't need to, because if you have a car, you can live to a relative.
Right.
If you have a fiance, who are you going to live to? No one. And I didn't want to have that pressure. So for me, I was very focused to come here. So why you in particular? Yes, you're American and the other things. So I want to make sure that people have to understand, yes, if you marry American, there is, by effect, you get a green card. But I didn't marry her in particular specific for green card.
I have a lot of radars, and Sally, you know I have all kinds of radars. But anyway,
Yeah.
But I have a radar, and you know, he wasn't the first man that I met, and you know, or dated, or any of those other things. And I can always get into that another time. But
Yeah.
but I was pretty sure that he didn't want a green card from me. He could do it all on his own. I mean, he made it very clear.
Because I was
So I was very
masters,
comfortable,
I was
right.
planning to do PhD. You can get a PhD through. You can get a scholarship with
Right,
PhD.
but he was so, he just looked at me like, I can get it anyway, I don't need you. So I knew.
And another thing is, I told you, if I have to marry someone for green card, I will never go to Catholic church. I'm Catholic. I
Right.
know what does it mean to go to the marriage. Yes, there is marriage, but the marriage in the church, it has a greater meaning than just the marriage you go to the court. I understand. Yes, it's still,
Because it's a
yeah.
sacrament.
Yes, for me, like if I have to do that, I will never go to church per se. I know what does it mean. So from that beginning, I told her, if you were thinking that, and I told you, like, I like to be in America, and I will stay in America. So even if we were, because after getting married, after
We
1
went
month,
to-
we went to Africa.
after
If you
1
like-
month,
you
we went
want-
to
you like
Tanzania for
too
a
much
month.
Africa, you can stay in Africa. I want in America, you find me in America. Let's go to. So
I'll never forget that.
yeah. So another thing which you asked, like, why specific to you? So for those who do not know, we met online.
Yes, we met on eHarmony.
Yeah. So the biggest thing is, number one, when you meet someone, I mean, let's online, you see the pictures. You can have a judge of character through the pictures. You can, I mean, it's not true,
I agree because I don't mean to take this, but if a person is honest and trustworthy, when you're, and that's for, at least for me, eHarmony, there's just so much you have to put into it to get out of it that, if I spotted a fake, I could see it. It was very but what I'm saying, but when I took pictures, I tried to wear something nice and do my hair and makeup and whatever and all of those things. I wasn't trying to be fake. I was just trying to put out the best me. But still, somebody could judge what kind of person I was just from all of that. Like, I saw your pictures and I could say, oh, he wears a tie. Oh, so
it helps to see someone, like if you see my pictures, I have vodka jumping there and you have cigarette. This guy, like,
right,
is it from the hood? Like I said, this guy is maybe coming from, like, I mean, it might be a criminal background. Just I mean, he's profiling, right, but it's not good. But those are sometimes what we wear, what we present. So those were just initial. But when we meet and talk, and especially your religious background, it was a big connect. It is very difficult in America to find people who, I mean, you are finding someone, yes, you can meet someone in church, you can find, but it's very difficult to find religious people because that is a common ground. It can help you to bind whenever you have a problem. Where is the drawing board? Because as a country, when there is something, what does Constitution say? But in the marriage, what does religion say? What does what you believe in say? So that was the first thing for us to combine to bring us together. For her, being raised as Catholic, and he became, for those who do not know, she was a sister and a nun. For me, like, religion, that behavior of religion was corresponding to typical normal African way of life. So even if you are typical American, born in typical Western sense capitalist world, yes, you have those kind of background, but there is humbleness, there is certain features you had because of the religion. So that made it for me to connect with African, simple, normal life, because it's like for poor, is poverty, and you grow up that way. So understanding things. So that was a very big in particular, and why I was drawn more to you, and why even now it is easier to go along with you, because there are those kind of things which made a very big foundation.
Okay. So what was it like getting married here, though? Like, because it's such a different culturally.
First of all, like, for me, there are certain things that are shock, but they worked on my advantage.
So what were
there is no bride price.
There's no bride price. They said, how many cows did you give?
Yeah, so there is no that you have to pay the
It's just like a dowry from years ago. So you know.
I mean, that was cool. So it is cheaper in that way.
Okay.
But if my kids are going to get married, if you come there, I'll play like a typical African guy. I need 10 cows. I say, I'm African. I don't care about, I'm African, and I'll be living in the rural area at that time, so I'll have justification to ask you for cows.
So, but okay, I'm going to go on a tangent here, because I know he's being difficult, because I know my husband. Because if you get cows, that means you own that person, and you can do whatever you want. So no. See, I knew he's just kidding. I mean, he would like some cows, but...
Yeah, so...
Okay, anyway. So there was the bride price that you were surprised about.
Yeah, so there is that one, there is no bride price. Okay, another thing here, on the wedding part, you can decide to simplify whatever it is, and it's not considered as poverty.
Yes.
But in Africa, sometimes people have $50,000 wedding, but they don't have even maybe $200 in their pocket.
Right.
But they have the budget of that, and they start going to the friends or someone who went to primary school together, and they just asking for money. Like, there are few people nowadays, it starts like, if they have the wedding, they have their own money, they don't bring anyone, they invite you. I like that behavior. I can give a gift what I want, but not just because I mean, I started with you, like, maybe in ordinary school. We were not even close as friends. You bring me to the WhatsApp group and you force me to pay. that is so. This one was easy. Like I can have a simple wedding. I can have just coffee, whatever, and someone can say it's not about poverty. No, it's just what we wanted. So that for me was something very, very good. And another thing about here, which was good about dating the wedding or starting the marriage, is I don't need to have the house or something like a very fast someone to agree to marry me. Because in Africa sometimes money is another pressure. You must have already yes, you need to be settled, whatever it is, understandable, but there is no that pressure, like, because both of us, we are one team, we can work together. And as long as you believe with the potential for another person, because while you got married I was still doing my master's degree, I didn't have a job. So even if yes there will be struggle, but she believed in me that this person will be a good person because he's hard worker, he's having good education. So we have to also understand the people with their potential, which here is a very good thing, which it was positive for me. So those were the key ones.
Can I ask you, I want to ask you about, because somebody can be in love, but with another person. Okay, you can be in love with them, you're attracted to them. But, and I'm not talking about our relationship, but do you think that, and this is kind of off topic, but I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Do you think that you yourself, because I know, if you're in love with someone and you love them, but you know that it's just not possible. Like you were saying, so you're saying our religion, our faith is what is our foundation, and
Yes.
everything builds on it. So safe has, because plenty of people fall in love and love somebody who doesn't share their same belief system. Do you think, in your opinion, just for our people here, my people, our people, what would be your wisdom? Because you're African, so you're already retired. So what would be your wisdom to those people? Now, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, because we have plenty of friends that are married to other people of different religions. So we're not talking about, I'm just asking his opinion and in wisdom. What do you think would, like, if we were gonna, with our children, what is the best plan? I mean, like, you can go off that plan, I get that, but what is your opinion?
I mean, there is African book we studied in high school. It's called is kind of like a novel, poem, whatever. So in that book, Rwanda Magere book, there is one quotation. It says, "A bed." Just like the birds,
the birds,
whatever.
Because I heard bed.
Yeah, whatever.
See, we still don't understand each other. I heard bed and he said bird.
Yeah, it's like a bird may love a fish.
A bird may love a fish.
Yes.
Okay.
Can the two make home? Will they get married? If yes, where will they live? Will they live in water or will they live in air? On the air, whatever.
Right.
They say the marriage will never materialize. Yes. You might be attracted to one person, fall in love with one person. That's why there is heart, you allow whatever the heart, whatever is
feelings,
feeling, whatever,
emotions,
and there is a brain. Selection is not blind. When falling in love, yes, love is blind, but before you go in love, you do selection, and when you do selection, you use the brain. Mostly, you have to use the brain, and in the brain part, you have to look for the realities. I'm giving an example. Before I met you, for instance, on eHarmony, I met someone, said, I'm okay, you are Ernest. She said, I'm not planning to have any child and I don't have any medical condition. So no matter what you have, if I want to use my heart, my feeling, yes, is the next person, whatever, but that's not my brain. So there are certain things you have to make, not just, oh, it's okay, we'll figure out later. Someone already said, this is the reality. So you have to use the brain. That's why I like the online part. Is the first thing about online. You put your feeling away. You just come and discuss how you are going along. You can ask any question right away. But if you start like dating or whatever, so in the end, someone will say, "Will you marry me?" You know for sure it was just for a short time. Like maybe it was summer relationship, but you are already have a feeling and you don't use your brain. So for that, I mean, yes. There are certain things can be a common. Yes, you can have different religion, whatever, but find the common things which can be a very binding for a longer time, and especially how can also bind your children too.
Right.
Because yes, we got married, but in the long run, there is a family involved, including the children. How do you raise the children?
Right.
In the long run.
Right. And I can see that because even with my mom and dad. So my question was about, the wisdom of we need a foundation and all of those things. And you're saying we need a common foundation. And I was saying, like my mom and dad, they might not have shared the same faith, but they have very common foundations that they brought my sister and I up with. So in 45 years this November, or this June, this November, 45 years this June. Way, woohoo. Anyway, but do you think being sad and brokenhearted is better than marrying somebody because you think it's expected, or this person, I love them, and so I don't care how it's going to work out. Say, you find out that, this person, their personality, whatever. I'm not going to go into that, but because there are people that would rather suffer in a marriage because it's a marriage and they're being provided for, or it looks good or whatever, versus saying no. I would rather suffer that broken heart. I would rather have those feelings and pain in order to get something better.
First of all, I'll answer that one into two perspectives.
Okay.
African perspective and the American perspective.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking you did.
In America, there is not too much pressure into marriage in that kind of life. Like your mother, whatever, your friends cannot question you why you are 29 years old, you are 30 years old, you are not married. If you decide, people can but they cannot come to your face, why are you not married? Mm-hmm. Or they cannot come to your face, when are you going to have a child? They cannot ask those kind of questions because in the end it's your decision.
Right.
So that helps to relieve a lot of pressure and finding what you call the right one. So you still have a lot of opportunities in America to select or to find someone, even 35 years old, 50, 40 years old, you can find someone. But in Africa, there is too much pressure because, as you mentioned in one of the videos we were talking about, there is a pressure of the community, there is a pressure of relatives, there is this pressure from your family, there is pressure of the culture itself. Like a woman, you must be married to have the respect. No matter how much money you have, even if you can have more money than Oprah, if you're not married, you don't have that respect. Because you are supposed to be wife of so-and-so or mama so-and-so. So that's number one. So there is a pressure at the age of 30, 31. So some people, they have to get married. And once you want to get married, the expectation, a man has to be a little bit stable. Here, like I was mentioning a few minutes ago, that you got married, we live in your apartment. Mm-hmm. And there was no expectation like this guy has a nice car, this guy has this one. There is no that expectation. Mm-hmm. Because there is here, yes, you can, if you have those, is good, but there's a question, are we able to do together is wanting to go further. Mm-hmm. So if you go to get married because you are going to be 32 years old with that pressure that you must get married, you must have a child, the community sees that you don't have any kind of respect, because all those kind of things, you might end up making a wrong choice. Mm-hmm. So if you reduce those kind of pressure, it helps someone to have not to just rush to get married because someone is already having a house. Mm-hmm. Someone because is already have a very good job. Mm-hmm. If you are one team, you can work together and support one another. You cannot have a very perfect job, but you can be able to complement one another and to go further. So it is easier, in my opinion, better to have a normal poor life but happy, understanding one another, than just, especially for women, to get married to a rich person just to have that stress, tortures and everything, just because especially the social media life, you have to pretend in the social media life that I can have go to the vacation, I can do these kind of things. So it's better just to have a normal life, happy, than being pressured to have that kind of marriage and have all those tortures because you don't have much of the option.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
It's getting dark and I'm black. Don't forget.
Okay,
that.
All right. So. I think, one of my suggestions that I would put down in the comments is that to talk about women's rights in the context of Christian faith. And I think that Ernest, studied peace and justice,
Political science.
political
conflict
science, so
resolution.
conflict resolution. He's a mediator and all these other things. And I think that would be a great next interview at some point to be able to talk about women's rights. And I think we should include men's rights, and how that in the context of the Christian faith, and because there's such a difference in the secular society, like what is a woman supposed to be versus, and what is a man supposed to be, but instead of what is God ordain it to be. And I'm not talking like some stoic type thing. I'm talking from a Catholic perspective, and so. But anyway, I think that would you do that? Would that be?
I'll be back to be your guest.
Thank you so much, honey. So. Again, I really appreciate that you were here with us. And again, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, if you have anything for Ernest or me, or you thought something was really strange, I guess you can share about that. But anyway, I've never been one to like pretend on social media. I just can't. It's just not possible for me. I just not that person. So, like I said, what you see is what you get. Anyway, for those of you that wouldn't mind, please pray for us, especially our anniversaries tomorrow, and or whenever you see this video. And pray
May 1st.
May 1st, but also for our family, and pray for yourselves. Anyway, I love you.
Love you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.